My name is Felicity Clark and I've only just finished my diploma at East Berkshire College. The subject I chose for my research project was woad, which I then broadened out to include indigo, because although the plants are very different to look at, the chemical that produces the blue dye in them is similar to both. I started with woad because I could grow it in my garden, as it's a plant that's indigenous to temperate climates. And I found it was quite difficult to use as a design source because it was quite limited. But as I looked sort of more closely at the leaf shapes and the seed shapes, which are all very distinctive, I found that I was able to use a lot. Also, I like the sort of overriding idea of getting blue from green leaves. This I tried to show in the panel. The site it was designed for was the hypothetical headquarters of the British Woad Society, which doesn't actually exist. This chap is meant to be in ancient Britain, daubed with blue. What I really wanted to do with this piece was to make a complex cloth, to try and see how many techniques and sort of ways of patterning I could layer up onto a single piece of material. I used the woad balls, which in medieval times was the way in which woad was traded and exported. They mushed them up in the process and then moulded them into balls. This one I made with mushed up jean fibres, which I then lined with denim. And then doing felt balls, solid ones and hollow ones. That's the solid one with the inside. Again there I wanted to reference the feeling of the yellow turning blue when it gets into the oxygen. And then this one was actually made out of woad leaf pulp, which was then sort of moulded on a ball shape. It used to be a very ancient dark green it's come out. When I came to do my 3D accessory, I was beginning to find the chosen colour palette a little limiting. So I decided to completely branch out. In fact, I based the shoes on instances of extreme fashion that occurred in the 14th century, and I thought it also would be a challenge for sort of felting technique. The tiara was my metalwork piece, and I've used the shape of the leaves to make something that's quite sort of loose and free-flowing. Throughout the course I've tried to use denim as much as possible, and it's such a familiar basic material in our society, so I explored its physical possibilities, the way it's printed, frayed, slashed, how it could be rolled, knotted, shredded, pleated, etc. This all made used jeans the ideal fabric for the tent project. The tent was my final piece. It had to be a large-scale item which suited the properties of denim. It's so tough and fairly bulky. Nomadic tribes tended to use a material that they had a lot of, like buffalo skins. I thought, well, denim is the usual fabric that we have around. The inside of the tent is all printed, where each design was personal, and they often put in special symbols, which I've sort of followed. I've used zips for edging. The zips also appear in the tassels. The tassels have got indigo dyed in them, and indeed the carpet is the back pockets. One of the reasons for the tent was that it should be an interactive, a used object, because tents are. So therefore I invited people to go inside to experience a hopefully calm and different environment, and also to post little messages in the pockets to sort of interact with the whole experience. So all in all, the topic of woad and indigo has provided a rich source of inspiration. It has helped me define the areas that really interest me and that I would like to pursue.